Hey everyone, it's John, and today I'm going to begin a video series on BGP. The reason why I decided to do this video series is because I think BGP is probably the best protocol to do your routing with, just because it's so flexible and it's so powerful. However, it can be a little bit counterintuitive and it can be a little bit complex if you're not familiar with the pathing decisions and the way BGP effectively thinks. Now, on the right hand side, I've basically written out the BGP best path algorithm, save for a few tiebreakers at the end, but the main ones are wait, local preference, locally injected routes, AS path, origin type, multi-exit discriminator. eBGP routes are preferred over IBGP, and if that's all the same, we go to the IGP metric. So, what does that actually mean? Effectively, these are all individual values which can be tweaked. Now, the ones which I'm going to focus on in this video are wait and local preference, which happen to be the strongest or the most influential values which you can configure on a router to influence BGP's path decisions. Wait, however, is only effective on the router locally. It doesn't propagate throughout to other routers. If you've effectively put this wait for a certain route or to a certain neighbour, it will only act on from that point of view of that router. With local preference, that will actually propagate to the entire AS. In fact, I think local preference would be better named AS preference, because local preference makes it sound like it's just local to the router, when in fact wait is only local to the router and local preference is local to the entire AS. So, without further ado, I'll actually explain the topology a little bit and then get into manipulating some paths. So, what I will say is, as a general preface, some of the things which I'm doing might not make much sense in this video series until I get every video out. That's just the nature of BGP. You can't cover everything simultaneously. Building blocks have to be built upon building blocks, so there's just no way to cover it all without just gradually going through it. So on the left hand side here, we've got AS10. That's going to be our AS. Imagine that's the one we administer, and we've got an ISP1 and an ISP2 here, an AS20 and AS50. Behind that, we've just got another AS99. The reason why I've configured that is so we can have a common AS through which both ISPs can reach, so we can actually make pathing decisions to go to a common network. So both ISPs can get there. Which one will we choose to get there based on the BGP attributes we configure in our AS? That's effectively what we're going to do. What I will say is, in this AS, this is running IBGP. Now, IBGP particularly is what's quite strange, to be honest, the way it does behave. It doesn't act like eBGP, and really, for the sake of this video, I'm going to ignore, or rather not really explain all the things I've done with IBGP, just because it will take away from the point of this video, which is just basically on pathing decisions. In the next few videos, I'm going to explain exactly what I've configured in this IBGP, because if you're not used to it, it won't make much sense. You need to change next hops, you need to mesh it all, or use route reflectors or confederations. Again, these will be coming in later videos. So for the purpose of this video, just accept that we have a BGP domain here, or a BGP AS. We have full reachability, and I've effectively got NAT configured here and NAT configured here to translate the private to the public and the private to the public, and we have full reachability to this here. We've got this all configured. So the way I'll demonstrate that is if I go into this router here and I do show IP route. Now you can see the target address we're going to go for. We're going to try and ping this 99, which is the loopback here. Put that into BGP. In fact, you know what? I'll just quickly show each router's BGP configuration just so you can see it. Even though I'm not going to go too much in depth with what I've done with each of them. I'll just skim over it just so you can just see it. Okay, so we've effectively just put our neighbours up here, and we've advertised in the loopback to advertise into BGP on the rightmost router here. This one here, we're going to advertise both networks in and have our peering with our BGP neighbours. advertising 2 networks. This is the same thing again, it's advertising the 50 and the 160 rather than the 20 and the 135. And in here we've got, this is where it looks a little bit different because of IBGP. Again, don't get too concerned about this, it's not really relevant for this video, and like I say, it'll all be explained in coming videos. The reason why I'm doing it is to break it up so it's a little bit more watchable. So this configuration looks a little bit different with these next hop selves and update source and so on and so forth. The reality is all I've done is mesh all these together, and I've ran OSPF underneath the IBGP, which is actually very common with an IBGP. You actually run an interior gateway protocol like OSPF and RAID BGP on top of that. Again, this will come clear in future videos within this little series. The point I want to make though, however, is that we do have, right now, we've got a best path decision already made. So for example, if I go to here and I do a show IPBGP, and you see here we've actually got 2 routes to get to the 99 here, and see this little caret here, this little arrow, that denotes the best path. So in this case we're saying the best path, the next hop is through 2.2.2.2. so that means right now to get to 99 the BGP algorithm is preferring to go to this router, which means it's preferring to go via AS20. So it's effectively going to go here, here, here. Okay. The same will be true of this one here. If we go to this one and do show IPBGP, the one with the wee arrow here, see that wee, not the star, the wee arrow? That means it's the best path, which is going to go through this one here. Now, just to demonstrate that further, let's just trace to that actual target address. So let's trace to the 99. So we'll trace, and we actually can see the path. The path it's going through is it's going to 10.0.0.2, which is this one here. It's then going to 20.0.0.2, which is here, and then 135.0.0.2. And you can actually see that by, if you notice here, it's got the AS path. It tells you it's actually traversing through AS20 rather than going through AS50. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make a decision to put that route through ISP2. Now there's 2 main ways you can do this. You can do this so that you can just specify a certain prefix, or which is a route, the 99.99.99/32. You can just put that particular network through a certain ISP. You can specify a range of prefixes, or you can specify every update from ISP2 gets preferred. So there's no limit here. You've got really granular control. In the case of this, I think we'll just do you know what, we'll do the full thing. We'll make a prefix list and just specify for that one address we want the traffic to go through ISP2. And what I'm going to do is configure it with local preference, which means that the change is going to be true of all these routers. So even this one up here, rather than go just here, it's actually going to take the longer path round here and go through here. So watch this, okay? So effectively what we're going to do is ISP1 is advertising to this router here 99.99.99.32. It's advertising it that way, okay? Same again here, it's advertising it here, and ISP2 is doing the same thing. What we're going to do is go into this router here, and we're going to create a route map, and we're going to identify that exact network, the 99, all the 99/32, and we're going to attach a local preference to it, which is higher than the default. So the default local preference is 100, so anything above 100 will make this route preferred across this path. So what I'm going to do is go into number 3 here, and like I say, we could just do it for all routes, but because we're specifying a particular route, we're going to do a prefix list to specify this particular prefix. We'll do an IP prefix, and what will we call it? We'll just call it John, right? And we're going to permit 99, 99, 99, 99, 32. So that's, by permitting it, we're basically saying this is the route I'm identifying. Okay, we're identifying this one for this certain treatment we're going to do. So we're going to create a route map now, and we'll just call the route map to keep it simple, and do permit 10. Think of this just like your access list. Permit 10 just means it's a sequence level, so 10 will be executed before 20, which will be executed before 30, so on and so forth. So we'll permit 10, and what we're going to do is do a match IP address prefix, and we're going to match the prefix list called John. Now that might sound a little bit different, like match IP address, it's just the way you do it. It's matching IP address prefix list, and then you specify the prefix list name. So by doing John, we're effectively saying we're getting a route map. The first part of the route map is number 10, which is going to be the first thing executed, and then we're going to match the IP address prefix list John, and obviously as you can see here, the prefix list John permits that particular network. So that's us identified it. So we're now matching on that address, and what we're going to do is set the local preference. So we'll set local preference. Now remember, the local preference default is 100, and we need something higher than 100. So like I say, we look at the best path. We need higher to make it preferable. So we'll do that to 200, sorry, and we'll exit out. Now here's the thing. See, if we just apply this route map as it is, it will just filter the 99 route, and all the other routes we could add in, which we haven't done, but if we added in more routes, it would only allow through 99. So we need to add this little permit 20 sequence. Don't need to do any treatment on it, just put it in there. So if we do a do show route map, you'll see there's the sequence 10, that's the first one we did, and we're going to match the prefix list called John, which is going to match the 99, and the clause what we're going to do is to set a local preference of 200 on that prefix. Okay, so now we need to do is attach it to a certain neighbor. So what we're going to do here is it's for prefixes coming from ISP2, so it's from the neighbor of 50.0.0.2, which is this one here, okay? And it's going to be inbound, so when the ISP sends routes inbound, we're going to take that and apply the route map inbound. That's going to effectively change the local preference to 200, and because the local preference is local to the entire AS, it will make the changes to everything in the AS. So let's go and do that now. We'll do router BGP 10, and we'll do neighbor, and we're going to go with the neighbor ISP2's physical address, which is 50.0.0.2, route map, and the route map is called map, and we're doing it inbound because routes are getting sent into us and we want to affect that, so we're doing in. Now we'll just clear IP BGP just to give it a little bit of a refresh. We'll do it over here as well just for posterity. IP BGP. This can take a little bit of time to converge and have everything work because, well, it's BGP and it's not the fastest. That's the one thing. For as powerful and as flexible as it is certainly not the fastest routing protocol. So we're still waiting the BGP routes to come in. So show IP BGP. You can actually see, even though it's not in the route yet, the routing table yet, you can see the local preference is changed to 200 on this one. So let's just see this again. Shouldn't be much longer. Just give it a wee minute. Come on. Clear IP routes. There we go, finally, took its time there. So now BGP is back up. Now, like I say, the 99 route has been advertised at ISP1 and ISP2. ISP2 is advertising it to router 2 with default values on it. ISP is putting it on, is advertising it with default values. However, because we've put this route map here, we are manipulating it here to say that the local preference is higher. So what we're saying is, if you want to get to route 99, 99, 99, 99, this path has got the highest one. So even this path here, which you think, logically looking at it, you think this is going to take it across here because this is a short way to go. That's how you think looking at, say, EIGRP or something. But BGP works differently. So let's go and we'll have a look at the best path now. Remember, it was traversing AS20 last time. So the show IP BGP, and you can see the best path now is going through 3, and you can see that here. It's valid best path is going through 3, and the crucial one here is the local preference is now at 200. And if we just do a show IP BGP, you can see that there. It's really been highlighted. So now let's have a look and see what path it goes this time. So trace, and now you see we're going to 10.0.0.6, 50.0.0.2, 160, which is going through AS50. You can see that there. So just by changing the local preference, we've now changed the target for the ISP. Now let's see if it affects the one up here. Let's have a look. Now we're going to do a show IP BGP. Look at that. What is the best one? The best one here is across the 3 because the local preference is 200. So even though you think it's just going to go directly connected to the ISP here, it's actually going to go this way. So let's just double check that. Rather than go across AS20, we're going to traverse AS50 this time. So let's go to trace. And you see we're going this way. We're going to 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.6, 50.0.0.2 and 160, and we're going across AS50 this time. And you see that's true of all the routers within the AS because the local preference affects everything within the AS. So even this one up here, this is going to take quite a circuitous and long path. To enable, we trace to the 99. And again, we're still going through AS50. Now here's the thing though, right? What we're looking at is the actual best path algorithm here on the right. Now, local preference, the way to make it go across ISP1 now, there's 2 ways you could do that. You can make the local preference from this, the advertisements here, to higher than 200, make it to 210, 250, 300, and it will then suddenly prefer the path across ISP1. The other way to do that, however, let's just say we just wanted to affect this router here and leave the rest. Well, you can just change the weight because the weight is actually a stronger path attribute than local preference. However, it doesn't propagate to the rest of the routers. So let's just look at that again then. So let's see, we'll go into this one here and we can do, I think for this one we won't do an actual prefix list. We'll just say for all of the do you know what, we'll stick, just keep it simple, keep it the thing with the prefix list. We'll do an IP prefix list and we'll do it John again, permit, and do a 99/32, and we'll do a root map and we'll call it map again, and just sequence is 10, permit 10. I'm going to match IP address, prefix list called John, and we're going to, this time, rather than set the local preference, we're going to set the weight. Now the weight, its default value is, I can't remember, it's 32,000 something, 678 or something like that. So effectively we're going to set the weight as 50,000, so it's definitely over that. So set weight to that, and if we go into our root map and do map, and again just do our permit 20, so we're not just filtering just for the 99, we're still allowing everything to come in, just exit back out. This time we're going to apply it for routes which are coming this way. So we're going to go to that neighbour and set it inbound, and the weight will be higher. So we're going to do a router BGP 10 neighbour is 20.0.0.2. That's this neighbour here, the physical address. And we'll do a route map, and its map is the name of the route map, and it's inbound, it's routes coming into us we're affecting. So we're going to do that, do a clear IP BGP. Oh, just clear all this. Let me get the fun of waiting for BGP to converge, because it's super fast, as we know. So effectively what we should see is routers here will still prefer this path, because it's going to, the local preference is going to propagate throughout the AS. But from here, this is going to have the weight of 50,000, which is actually going to override the local preference, and from here it's going to go across ISP1. So all these ones, now there's going to be a unique case here. We're going to show you what happens in this one once these all come up. This one doesn't act exactly how you would think. So let's see if we get this to come back up. Show IP BGP. I'm still waiting it coming up then. It's not in the routing table yet. Just give that a little bit of a minute. There we go, that's us in now. So we do a show IP BGP, and if we look at the best path, our best path is, where the caret is here, is 20.0.0.2, because you can see the weights here. So the weight is actually winning out over the local pref. The local preference says go across the 3. However, the weight is higher, and it says go across 20.0.0.2, which is where this wee arrow is, the best path. So let's just prove that now, and we'll just trace to it, okay? So we're going to trace to 99. And we should go across AS20 this time. And that's where we're going. We're going across AS20. However, like I say, if we're going from this router here, it's still going to go across AS50. Let me do enable, take caps lock off. This is still going to be 50. There we go, still going across 50 because the local preference is affecting all of them, and the weight is just affecting this one. And we'll get this one here, we'll trace to 99. This is going to go across 50 as well. Now here's the interesting one. It's saying that the best path is across 3, right? Because it's in the AS, and the local preference is affecting it to say go across here. The local preference is 200. The best path is across the 3s. However, the only way for that to get there is to go through router 2. It's not like this one. This one can take a pick to go to here or here. This one is going to go here and take a pick to go to here or here. This one's going to hit router 2, so what's it going to do? It says the best path is through router 3. However, watch what happens. It's actually going to go across AS20. You see that? So even though from the point of view of router 7, show IP BGP, it's saying the best path is across router 3, which is down here. It thinks it's that, but because the weight is overriding it, once it hits here, this router is just going to look up 99, 99, 99, 99 and say, listen, the weight says here, it's going to go across, so the weight is overriding it. So like I say, local preference is propagating throughout the network. It's choosing the path for all these 3. However, because on this router locally, any traffic traversing this router, where it can only go across this router, is going to pop it across ISP1. And that is how weight and local preference interact with one another. Like I say, weight wins out, even though it's only local to the router. When you have to go across that path, because that way is so powerful, even though router 7 didn't think it was going to go that way, router 2 is going to overrule it and say we're going to cross ISP1. So that is the first video in the AS path decision, and the next one is going to be on, I think, AS path and maybe origin type. Like I say, once I go through them all, I'm going to do the multi-etiquette discriminator, eBGP, iBGP, so on and so forth, and then go into the intricacies of iBGP with route reflectors and confederations. So like I said, that's the end of the video, and that'll be me, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Thanks very much.